to go ahead and go up there and introduce yourself. You say, I'm the meeting host. I'm glad to host the meeting today. And we're going to get the party started. First, we're going to introduce the grammarian, which will be Tanita right here. And then she will go up there and introduce her grammarian role.
Hello, my name is Emma and I'll be the Toastmaster for today. Let's get this meeting started. First up is the grammarian, who is Pranika.
The purpose of the counter is to note words and sounds that are used with pause for words that I will note, well, so, like, but, and the word of the day. Thank you.
What's the word of the day?
The word of the day. The word of the day. Extraordinary. Definition: very unusual or remarkable. Example sentence: the researchers made an extraordinary discovery.
Today's person who will be timing the speeches will be Tim.
Hello everyone. So for my timer role, I will be timing everybody's speeches, table topics, and evaluation. And I will have my background will be turned orange or green, yellow, and red here for speeches, which are between 5 and 7 minutes. At the 5 minute mark, my background will be green. At the 6 minute mark, my background will be yellow, and at the 7 minute mark, my background will be red. And this will indicate when you are on time, when your time is running close to being over, and red, which is trying to wrap up your speech and stuff. And then for table topics, it should be between 1 and 2 minutes. At 1 minute, my background will be green. At 1 minute 30 seconds, my background will be yellow, and at 2 minutes, my background will be red. This is the same thing for evaluations, except the time limit is from 2 to 3 minutes. So 2 minutes green, 2.5 minutes yellow, and then 3 minutes red. And at the end of the meeting, I will be giving a timers report, and I'll be reporting on everybody's times for their speeches, table topics, and evaluation. Thank you.
Hi, Tim.
Yep.
I think today there's an exception. For example, the first speaker will use only 2 to 3 minutes. So please pay attention to the evaluator's comments on the time range the speaker will be using.
Okay.
Because it is 5 to 7 minutes, right? Okay, so the first speech is 2 to 3, and the rest two are 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, thank you. So today we're also going to have speaker number 4, which is Navia. She's going to do the icebreaker. She's very brave. She came last week and she's ready for icebreaker this week. Very good. Speaker number 4, who can be her evaluator? Anybody? Eric, can you be her? Oh, okay. Judith will be her evaluator. Great. So Navia's speech will also be 2 to 3 minutes. Okay.
Do I introduce the evaluators first? The first evaluator is Miss Anna for Javid's speech.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. Today, Judith will give her second speech. Second project.
Right, it's my third project.
Third project. Okay, third project. You're very good. You're already project number 3. And so the project number 3 is get to the point. The objectives are select a speech topic and determine its general and specific purposes. Second, organize the speech in a manner that best achieve those purposes. Ensure the beginning, body, and the conclusion reinforce the purpose. Project sincerity and conviction and control any nervousness you may feel, which I never see. So, all right. Without further ado, let's welcome Jivit coming to the podium. Okay. The time is 2 to 3 minutes.
Have you ever wondered how potato chips were made? It all started with a chef named George Crumb. He worked in a restaurant located in Saratoga Springs, New York. Some people said he was the best chef in the country. It was a normal day for George until a very picky customer came. His name was Philip P. Horsefeathers. Philbert ordered just potatoes. George prepared the best dish his restaurant was known for, fries. But Philbert sent them back saying they were too thick. So George cut the potatoes slices even thinner and fried them and gave them to Philbert. But Philbert sent them back again, saying that they were too thick. But this time, George got mad. So he sliced the potatoes paper thin, fried them to crisp, and he added more salt to it and sent them back to Philbert. This time, he didn't send them back. In fact, he liked them so much that he ate all of them in less than a minute. This is how potato chips were invented and sold over the entire world.
Next up, we have evaluator 2, which is Deanne for Shrika's speech.
I'm evaluating Shrika's speech. She's on project 3. Get to the point. I will be evaluating her on how clear she talks. She will choose one subject to talk about. Now I'd like to introduce Shrika to give her speech.
Thank you, Diana. Okay, tigers. They're fascinating creatures. Beautiful fur, fierce, bold, and majestic feline. Some would even say extraordinary. But they're endangered. Today, there are laws, regulations, and so many organizations protecting these creatures. It's hard to believe that in the 1920s, these were man-hunting creatures. If you killed one, you were a hero. But if you kill one today, you're a villain. It's hard to grasp that once upon a time, that the tiger was a monster, not something to be nurtured or cared for. This is something I've just found fascinating my entire life. human perception of good and evil, right and wrong, or just values. I think values is the right word. This is my topic today, how values shape our perceptions. Let me get back to our tigers. So what changed? What made the tiger look like a monster? Values. Well, what values justify mass hunting these creatures? Well, number one, value for livestock and farms. Tigers were often seen as a danger to human life and livestock, particularly in rural areas. This is why the British even sometimes encouraged hunting to protect these populations. People also wanted to attain dominance. Tiger hunting was a popular sport to the British aristocracy and higher-ups. It was seen as a display of courage, wealth, and dominance. Products. Back then, the skin, fur, and teeth of tiger were all highly valued. Today, our values are more like value for biodiversity and balance. We are increasingly aware of our impact on the environment and importance of biodiversity. The concept of extinction carries a weight it once lacked during conservation efforts. Value for compassion and empathy. Dominance and control are often viewed negatively today, while compassion and empathy are highly valued. Values are not something we are born with, unlike what most people say. They are largely shaped by our environment and experiences. For example, in the 1920s, many people feared tigers because they heard all these sensational stories about these ravaging beasts. This would support their idea about the attacks and would support hunting. This was also influenced by the availability heuristic and confirmation bias, where people focused on what justified their beliefs. The availability heuristic is a mental shortcut that helps people make decisions on how easily examples come to mind. If something is more readily available in our memory, it's usually because it's more recent or dramatic. We tend to think it's more common or likely to happen. Confirmation bias is the tendency to seek out, interpret, and remember information in a way that confirms one's pre-existing beliefs or opinions. People are more likely to notice and believe information that supports what they already think, while dismissing or ignoring the evidence that contradicts their views. This can lead to a disordered understanding of the situation and reinforce existing beliefs. Today, we have more information showing tigers are endangered and that they're an important part of the ecosystem, thanks to documentaries and conservation efforts. Back in the 1920s, they didn't have that. All they saw was a ravaging, wild-eating beast. This has shifted our values towards compassion and environmentalism, which is, again, influenced by confirmation bias, as we look for information that supports these beliefs. So your environment and society are always pushing their values on you. It's like you've taken a piece of clay and squished it in all sorts of different ways. You'll eventually become something new. Similarly, your society will push all sorts of values on you, and you will eventually embody these values. So if someone from the 1920s were to visit today, they'd probably disagree with our conservation efforts at first. Then slowly they would change their mind and with exposure to our current information. Similarly, if we took someone from now and then put them in the 1920s, they're likely to adopt the attitudes of people in the 1920s. Our values are flexible and shaped by our experiences and the information we receive rather than being innate. Our values tell us a lot about ourselves and are a crucial part of self-improvement. In order to become a person you want to be, you must assess the values you want. While this may seem like a straightforward task, it requires a lot of self-reflection and attention. You may be reading some sort of article, and then you may go up and use a blanket. That shows you value the blanket more than reading the article. All this to say is that values are heavily impacted by our surroundings, and your values impact you as a person. We never know right or wrong, but values are something that have to be taken seriously. Our tiger friends show us how values are constantly changing, and just don't let them become bent out of shape. As we move forward in understanding our world, we should remain open to evolving our values. This approach not only helps us grow personally, but allows us to contribute positively to societies we live in. Every small shift in our individual values can lead to moments of transformation. Embracing change and how we view the world around us is crucial for our shared future. Thank you.
new evaluator for Tim?
Michael, what do you do? Imara doesn't have a role yet. Would you like to be the evaluator for him?
Sure. I think pencil.
You can get a pencil there. I think this project is project 20,
This is my project 8.
okay.
Project 8 Easter was.
Okay, project 8. So that would be, there's the manual is right there, so you can get.
For the speech number 3 for Tim, the
8.
of
8.
the speech for Tim is number 8, and his evaluator will be Amar.
Okay, so Tim is doing his eighth project, which is get comfortable with visual aids. And what this project does is it helps the audience understand and remember what they hear. They are a valuable tool for speakers. The most popular visual aids are computer-based visuals. So, Tim, you could start your speech.
Thank you for the introduction. So for today's speech, since I am doing my project 8 about visual aids, I would like to go and talk about some of my hobbies and interests throughout my years. And to start off, if some of you who know me, you might already know that my main interest and hobby back in the day was origami. And right here, I have a prop for y'all. This is something I made a while back, maybe 4 years ago. And it's just like a chicken with a little origami egg inside, you can see. And then it's just made of tiny little pieces of paper. You can take them off right here. It's like these tiny triangles that you put together that you can make something like this. So a little background about how I actually got into origami. This was about in, I'd say, elementary school. One of my friends, he was really great at folding paper. He made a bunch of swans, some paper balloons, some different animals. And when I saw it, I was like, that's extraordinary. I want to do something like that. That's something that interested me. And I asked him if he could teach me, and he did. And that's how I started getting into origami. So I started making more stuff, gifting it to people, and it just kind of became part of my life. Now, going on from origami, something else that interested me were puzzles. When I was in Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts, I a lot of the times they would give us rewards from like this big table, and you could choose a lot of different toys. And what drew me the most were these little puzzles, like they were sort of wooden pieces that you can like pop out and build together. One of this is like something like this. This is like you make it from tiny pieces, a bunch of pieces you put together, and then you can build something like this. Inside, this actually has a little music box, so with a little twist on the back, you can play music from it. And that interested me a lot. So that's what I got into a lot of wood making, and then also that led me down to whittling. And that's with like something like this. This is a little whittling kit I got recently, and you can just get pieces of wood, start carving away, and then make something that you would like. Unfortunately, I do not have a piece for you to show you guys today, as I gave it away a little bit back ago. But it was a little keychain that I made. It was like a heart that I carved from a block of wood, and then I attached a bit of a keychain, little ring to it, and then I made it into a keychain. And next up is something similar to these wooden pieces. It is let me show you. It's these metal pieces puzzles. And this I got from China when my brother went there. I asked him to get me something that was hard, a hard puzzle or something like that. And these are just similar to the wooden piece I showed you. It's like a metal sheets that you can cut out and then you make stuff with it. And after that, I've been pretty interested in building a lot of things, and that got me down from when my cousin came over, he introduced me to 3D printing. So, as some of you might know, in my past speeches, I've talked about 3D printing before. And a little background into that, I first got into a little taste of 3D printing through my 3D pen, which is I got this about 3 years ago for Christmas because I asked for it and I was like, because it was something that like was really fascinating to me. When I first heard about it, it was a pen that you could use to draw, and whatever you drew was became a solid piece, a 3D piece. And after I got it, I played with it a bunch, and it was actually really interesting because whatever you make with this pen, you just draw and it becomes hard plastic. It melts the plastic down, you draw with it. You can draw like maybe a square, you can draw kind of draw in the air, and then you just can draw in space. This was really interesting. And after that, after a few, maybe 2 years, my brother he gave me one of his own 3D printers because he does a lot of RC building, so he builds a bunch of RC planes, so he has a 3D printer for that. And after he got a new one, he gifted me his old one. And that's how I first started into 3D printing. 3D printing is just kind of a better version of this 3D pen. With a machine, it's kind of like what you would see with a hot glue gun, but it's like it moves on its own. So it just starts you program it, you program a file into it, you slice it, and then after that you send it to your machine. You give it maybe it takes a little bit. You give it a time, maybe a day or so, and you can print out many cool things. So here's something to show you guys. This is a little bunny that I made a while back, and it's all plastic and it's fully solid and it's quite large. It took about maybe a day or so to print. Something else you could print is also this articulated dragon. And if you believe it or not, this is all plastic, made from plastic PLA. So it's made in one piece here, all printed in about 2 days. And after that, that's how I got into 3D printing. For one of my friends, he asked me to print a lot of his parts because he started a small business to make a sort of a lawnmower. So he would always send me some parts to print, and I just printed out for him. So that's how I got a lot of interest in 3D printing. Lastly, recently, the most recent hobby or I guess sport I picked up would be tennis. For tennis, I started with my friend last summer because after I quit band, we decided that we needed something to do to fill up that spot in school. So I started playing tennis with him. Over the summer, I'd often go out Sundays and just weekdays and just play tennis for a few hours with him. And after that, we decided to try out for our school team. And fortunately for us, we both made the varsity team for our school tennis. Although I might not be the top spot, I'm still made it, so I'm quite proud of that. And recently we played our first game. We played a doubles, and our coach gave us this ball, the ball we played with, as a commemoration for winning our first game, which was really nice. And after that, I'm still playing tennis. And after this break, we're expected to start playing up soon. After preseason is over, we're starting our actual games and seasons. So hopefully, I get to play a few games. That'd be interesting. But after all, that's about it. That's most of my hobbies that I've had and interest I've gotten into and a little background about them. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
Next up is Navia, and her evaluator will be Gavel.
Judith said he changed his mind,
Oh.
so somebody else, Michael, can you see Judith Nadia's evaluator? It'll be icebreaker.
Sounds good.
Michael will be Navia's evaluator.
Today, Navia will be giving her icebreaker, which is a short introduction about herself so that the rest of us in the club can get to know her better. Please welcome Navia to the podium.
Hi, I'm Navia. I'm going to tell you about my life in making friends. First, when I was 2, I made a friend whose name was Advika. We used to play together and we lived on the same street. And even after 6 years, I still remember the steps from my house to Advika's house. So eventually the time came when she had to move. So then we didn't have that many visits. I did see her every now and then, but I decided to make more friends so I wouldn't be bored. I was 3 by then, so I knew more than when I was 2. So I figured out how to make friends. Place to place I went in quest of friends, and I did meet lots of friends, but I couldn't meet them much. Soon after my fourth birthday, I went to acting classes. There I made a friend named Audrey. We got her phone number, but it accidentally got deleted. I never saw her again. Then I became 5. I got toys, books, everything, but no friends. I kept up what I was doing when I was 3. When I became 6, I wanted someone who can stay with me forever. As I kept wishing, I made more and more friends. Just a little after I turned 7, my very own sister was born. We named her Mira. She was too little to play, but I enjoyed being with her. I also got a good friend. Her name is Aditri. We played together a lot. Then I moved. Up until now, everyone at school teased me. I did used to have a little friends whose names were Chloe, John, and Susie. At the school I currently go to, only all the boys except 3 tease me right now. Just a little before I started 2nd grade, I made a very good friend named Naina. It started when we met Ira, who's our next door neighbor. She was born on the same time, year, and day as Mira. She told me about Naina, and when we went to the school park the same day, I found her and we became very best friends. In 2nd grade, I figured only one person teased me. Also in 2nd grade, 2 things happened. I got a good friend lately. I also figured I was smallest but smartest in each grade. Right now in 3rd grade, I used to have 3 friends. Everybody was 9 older than me. I started 3rd grade when I was 7, so I was 1 year apart from everyone else. My 3 friends turned bad to me. Eden, one of my maybe friends, was mean. Larib, also one of my maybe friends, didn't listen to me. Adeline, the last of my friends, I believe just got carried away and did the same things as the other 2. And who got carried away with Eden too was Riley, and she used to be my friend, but when she got friends with her, then she didn't talk with me very much, and she did what she did. I decided to move on. I made a friend named Ella. Right now it's getting hard because Ella has a friend Nicole, and she's kind of mean to me. And this is my life so far in making friends. Thank you.
Next up is our table topic session, and the person who's asking the questions today is Eric.
What's a small habit that makes a big difference in your life? Amara.
A small habit, I would say Okay, a small habit is thinking that my mom isn't always right and that I'm always right. I feel like that's more stubborn, but I have a mentality that I don't really like to listen to her. So that's a reason why she won't teach me how to drive one day. Because I think my way is better. So I can't listen to her right, and that will cause me to not know how to drive and probably an accident. It's why my dad has to teach me how to drive. And it just goes beyond that because as I get older, my mentality and my habit doesn't change when I think about that stuff. So I would say not listening or not thinking how my mom wants me to, kind of in a way, is a really bad one.
If you could have like a paid vacation, including like food and hospitality, where would you go? What's your name?
Gavel.
Adia?
Oh, Audio. Ben.
I would go to Paris because I've heard that going to like outside the place that you were born, it's really expensive. And I've always wanted to go to Paris my whole life. So, yeah.
What's an underrated food that you like? Shrika.
An underrated food that I love. Well, I'm a vegetarian, so I bet there are a lot of those. But, I guess, you know those patties, those vegetable patties that are supposed to replace meat, but they don't taste like meat? Well, I wouldn't say, but there is one that's just a normal vegetable patty. I love those. I will eat those every day, every single day. My parents just take one out of the freezer and then we just put them on a bun. It tastes great. I don't know why people don't like them. I guess if you're trying to compare it to something, it will taste bad. But if you just take it away from what you think meat is supposed to taste like, I think it'll taste really good. If you have a bunch of sauces and stuff, it adds flavor. And I guess meat ripoffs? Probably because I never had meat before, and that's the closest thing I can have, so yeah, meat ripoffs.
Would you rather be able to talk to animals or know all the languages fluently? Michael.
Eric offers me a very difficult choice. Now, although it'd be amazing to listen to what all the animals are saying, because surely they're saying something, right? It must be interesting if they're chattering so often. But I would have to go with knowing all the languages in the world, because for me, I interact with humans a lot more on a daily basis. And if I knew every single language in the world, I could interact with every single human in the world. Not only could I become a savant in multiple languages, showing off to other people, I could also travel the world with ease. I wouldn't have to land in a new country and struggle to look for English signs because I could just understand the local language. This gives me the freedom to visit wherever I want and enjoy the local specialties even though I don't come from there. Knowing the language is also part of understanding the culture of the region I'm visiting. A lot of the times, if you're seeing translated versions, you're not understanding the nuance that is apparent to a native speaker. So, for that reason, I would love to know all the languages in the world so that I can travel the world and understand all the cultures. Thank you.
Would you rather always be 10 minutes late or 20 minutes early? Deanna?
I would rather always be 20 minutes early because, for example, at school, recess is like at 11 o'clock. But you have to finish all your morning work before you can go to recess. So if I get there 10 minutes late, which takes a while to finish morning work, I would probably be late for recess. And recess is only 15 minutes, so why would you want to be late? Also, no one likes it whenever you're late to stuff. Especially if you're going to like the movies, you don't really want to be like 10 minutes late. Thank you.
You don't want to be late for this meeting either, right?
Would you rather have unlimited money or unlimited free time?
But what gives you the other?
What do you mean by freedom?
Like free time.
Well, I would choose unlimited money because already my teacher, she only gives one sheet of homework for a whole week. Well, most like all the other grades, we also have a spelling test and vocabulary. And my first grade teacher, she teaches stuff we're supposed to learn in first grade. Second grade. But my first grade teacher is teaching stuff I cover mostly in kindergarten. And yeah.
If you could be like the main character of like any movie, which movie would it be?
If I got to be the main character of any movie, I would be Twilight from My Little Pony the movie because I like how she has a lot of friendship and she cares about everyone and she can always find a way out of hard situations, and she can make bad people nice, and she knows a lot about magic spells. So I would want to be Twilight if I got to be any main character from any movie.
What's the scariest thing you've ever done? What's your name? Gia.
The scariest thing I've ever done was like getting stitches. It happened because I was like being playful and I was just sliding down the gate, thinking it was a slide, but it worked for a few times, but on the last time, I guess I forgot to stop, so I just slipped off the end. And instead of landing on my feet, I landed on my chin. So, kind of burst. So then, it was like on the brick floor at the temple. So like that, and it was like hot. So, I had to go and escort it. I had no idea what my face looked like. So, I was confused why there was a lot of commotion. So then I just went perplexed to the hospital and I was supposed to get stitches. I'm pretty sure I was like wailing at all the doctors, but eventually I had to get it done. So then I just ended up going home with a popsicle.
Would you rather be trapped in space or the ocean for 3 months? What's your name?
Arjun.
Arjun.
I would rather be trapped in space because if I had
spacesuit on, I could be talking to astronauts, and if astronauts came into space, they could come and save me. Thank you.
What about the ocean? It's not using this.
That's 3:40. Do we keep going? Okay. Would you rather live in a normal house or a tree house?
Anika?
Pranika.
I would rather only live in a normal house because in a tree house you don't have a bathroom, you don't have a shower, you have more space. You have more rooms in a normal house. In a tree house you only have about like the space of one room, and that's why.
What's a subject at school that you think you could teach better than the teachers, or like that you think should be taught differently? Tim?
The question was, what is a subject I think I could teach or a subject that should be taught better? I don't really think I could teach a subject that well in my class. I'm kind of just barely getting by right now. But a subject I think that could be improved upon would always be math. Because as with math, no teacher actually ever teaches math. You just kind of sit in class, they like talk you through 2 lessons or so, and then you have to do all your homework on your own. And that's mainly how you learn. Well, from my experience for the past 3 years, I've gotten not so great math teachers. Just sat in class, I've just done the work, done the lesson. They don't really teach, I just have to teach it by myself. And if they actually taught us, I feel like we'd be able to understand the lesson a lot easier. Or if they did a lot more interactive stuff instead of just passing out 200-page worksheets, wait, like giving you a week, do all the rest of this work, and then maybe at the end of it, you have a test or a quiz to see if you self-learned enough. But I guess math is the main thing that I've experienced that has not been taught very well. So I guess math would be the subject I wish they would teach better. Thank you.
If you could have dinner with any 3 people in like the timeline of like history, who would you choose?
Thank you, Eric. So the question is, if I choose to have a dinner with 3 people in a timeline, what 3 people I would choose? That's a difficult question. The first person I would choose is my grandma. She's my late grandma, my father's mom. She's just an amazing person. She passed away before I was born, so everything I know about her is from the WeChat, which is a Chinese version of the Facebook. It's a WeChat group where all my cousins, my uncles and aunties are together, chat about the things. And through that group, I learned a little bit about my grandmother. She had 7 children, but all the boys eventually went to college. My grandfather had to travel a lot. She basically single-handed raised all 7 children. So she's definitely amazing, a very strong woman. I would like to have a dinner with her just to know her better and see if my good side is actually coming from her. The second person I want to have a dinner with would be my time is already up. So yeah, I wouldn't have a second and third person. I just want to have a dinner with my grandma. Thank you very much. I think we're good. Do we have any other? I think we all have to.
My sister. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Go next.
No, you have to go. You have to go. Have.
Emma, oh yeah, Emma didn't get a question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. My bad. Would you rather have the ability to turn books into money or money into books?
I would rather turn money into books because I could sell them at higher prices. And with that money, I could buy more books and turn them into money and get even more money. Wait, no. I would get more money and then. Okay. I would get money and then turn them into books and sell them for even more money. And now I'm just confusing myself, so thank you. And now that wraps up table topics, and we need a general evaluator.
I think that would be Michael.
Oh, okay.
Hello everyone, I'll be your general evaluator for today. First, I would like to pass it to Miss Anna to evaluate your next week.
Thank you, Michael. Jivis, your speech is nothing short of extraordinary. It's a great speech. It's so much fun. It talks about how potato chip was invented, and it was short, but it's a lot of fun. I noticed that your voice was louder than the first speech and other table talking speech, so your voice improved by a louder voice, which makes us all hear what you have to say. The organization of the speech is great. You first have a beginning, talk about what you want to talk about, and then the story, and then ended, hey, that's how the potato chip was invented. The objective of the project is to get to the point. I think so far, the point is getting us entertained, getting us informed of how potato chip was invented. Is that your point? Maybe not. What do you think? Is that your point?
My point is technically to tell who invented the potato chips.
Right. Okay. So that keep us to get us informed of this invention. Okay. Good. I think you greatly achieved your point, and your point was clear, and it was right put on the front. My suggestion to your speech is to make it a little one step further. What do you want people to get from your story? One of the things I can think of is make a point that, hey, being critical is not necessarily a bad thing. It can lead to a great invention. It lead to some greater things, right? Better things, such as invention. That could be a point. So you can encourage us to always be critical, have a critical thinking skills, so that we can always improve on the things we want to improve on. So that could be a point that's next. It's a little high level. But I would say your speech is pretty good already, based on the point you were trying to make. So congratulations, very good project. And I want to hear more speech from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Anna, for that evaluation. Next, I'll pass it to Deanna to evaluate Shuka's speech.
Shuka's speech was very interesting. I think everyone learned a lot about tigers. You had good hand movements. You didn't have a lot of filler words. But you were talking a little fast. I feel like not a lot of people can understand you really well. And you're reading off your notes a lot. You were really clear though. I think everyone in this room could probably agree that you had a really good speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna, for that evaluation. Next, I'll pass it to Amara to evaluate Tim's speech.
So Tim did his speech on like visual stuff while he was talking, and he did show us a lot of visuals of his hobbies that he had. That he had like in his past years, and that I liked how he showed us like his hobby, and then he talked about how he got to that hobby, and then he talked about how his how do you pronounce it? How that hobby and how it expanded into different hobbies that he liked over the years. And he showed us his 3D pen and the different 3D printing projects that he did, which looked very cool. He also used the word of the day. So overall, he had a great introduction and conclusion, wrapping up his speech about his different hobbies.
Thank you, Amara, for that evaluation. Next is my evaluation for Navia's icebreaker. So Navia, for your first speech, you did really well. You spoke with a loud and clear voice so that all of us could hear. You didn't pause too often because you had great notes in front of you, and that's a great way to start speaking. Is not everyone can start with memorized speeches, so having notes is really helpful. You talked about your friends, making friends through the years, and I certainly share that sentiment, is that friends are certainly good to remember your memories by. I'm sure that you'll make many more in the future, and I really enjoyed hearing about different friends you made through both school and the things you enjoyed. I hope you continue speaking, and I wish you good luck with friends in the future. Thank you. General idea. So, for general evaluation, we started quite on time because everyone was here early. Thank you, everyone. We had 4 very interesting speeches about potato chips, tigers, hobbies, and friends. Next, we had a very interesting table topic session brought to us by Eric, who asked us all very thought-provoking questions. And we finished off with a great evaluation session to help everyone improve. That's
Grammarian's report?
report? Sorry, the grammarian's report. I should, yeah.
David had one one so. Shrika had 5 and 1 and 1 well and 2 so's. And the word of the day, Tim had seven, 2 and 3 so's. And the word of the day. Navia had 1 so. Eric had 1 and 3 Amara had 2 Claudia had 1 and 1 Shika had 2 and 1 but. Michael had 1 but. Deanna had 0. Vivek had 1 Naya, what's her name? Navia had 1 repeat. Gia had 3 and 1 so and 1 but. Arjun had 2 I had 2 Tim had the word of the day. Wait, no, not the word of the day. Anna had 2 and 1 Wait, 2 1 2 repeats. And the word of the day. Wait, no. Yeah, the word of the day. Emma had 0 filler words. Luciana had 1 word of the day. Gina had 0 filler words. Mara had 1 like. Michael had 0 filler words.
Thank you for that grammar's report. Now I'd like to call up Tim to do the timers report.
Thank you. So for the timers report, starting from the speeches, we have first up Jivit with a time of 1 minute 21 seconds. Next up, Sika with a time of 5 minutes 24 seconds. And then me, myself, with a time of 6 minutes 20 seconds. And then Navia with a time of 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Moving on to the table topics, we had first up Amara with a time of 1 minute 11 seconds. Audio at the time of 21 seconds. Shigo at the time of 1 minute and 8 seconds. Michael with a time of 1 minute 12 seconds. Deanna with a time of 55 seconds. Jivith with a time of 56 seconds. And then Navia with a time of 35 seconds. And then Gia with a time of 1 minute 9 seconds. With a time of 17 seconds. Pranika with a time of 24 seconds, myself with a time of 1 minute 10 seconds, Miss Anna with a time of 1 minute 14 seconds, and lastly, we had Emma with a time of 55 seconds. Lastly, we have our evaluations, and first off is Miss Anna with a time of 2 minutes and 46 seconds. Then we had Deanna with a time of 1 minute and 3 seconds, Amara with a time of 1 minute and 12 seconds, and lastly, Michael with a time of 45 seconds. And that concludes my timers report.
All right, so next we're gonna work on next week's speech and meeting roles. So I'm going to not share the screen, but just show here. We have speaker number 1, 2, 3. We need at least 2 speakers. Emma said she's gonna do another speech, second project.
Can I do table topics?
Yeah, you can do tabletop master, right? Okay, now put Emma here. And Jivith, you said?
Excuse me, me and my sister want to be here next week.
Okay.
So can I be a speaker next week?
Yes, next week, that would be 13. So, yeah, should be. Yeah, no, actually, that's gonna be, hold on. Yeah, that'll be the 4th, the 6th of, yeah, should be. Okay. Yeah.
I also won't be here next week. I'll be on a trip, so I can't make it.
Okay. Right. So, speaker, calling on the speakers, anybody? Okay. Priyanka. And then, Navia want to do a project number 2?
Okay.
Okay. Is that a speech you want to do? Or you want to do any meeting roles? Or you want to do a speech?
A speech.
A speech? Okay.
This will be my first speech.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Then, Arjun, right? Okay, Arjun. Okay, you have 3 speakers. Okay, evaluator number 1. Evaluator number 1. Anybody who can be an evaluator? I can be a first evaluator. The second evaluator, Eric, okay. And then third evaluator? Erica? Okay. All right, Toastmaster. Toastmaster, I'm hoping Sophie will be back. So I'm putting Sophie.
Sophie and Palacio also won't be there because we're all gonna be on a school trip for HOSA.
Okay, gotcha. Toastmaster, then we'll give it to. So let's see. Michael may not be here. I'm gonna check with Isaac. I'll just put his name here. Okay, grammarian, timer, we need somebody to bring the laptop. Adia, can you bring your laptop to be the timer?
I don't know. I might not be here, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. Alright.
But I can be grammarian if I'm here.
Okay. Adia. Is that 2 A's?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll find a timer later. Just whoever can bring a laptop, we'll assign timer role to that person. Okay, I think we're pretty much it. General evaluator will assign it to Michael. Actually, one of the evaluator can be the general evaluator as well. How about we put Shrika here? Okay. All right. Okay, we're good. Alrighty, great meeting. Yes, great job, everybody. Very good.